The only good part of Life is Strange Double Exposure is the nostalgia, and the graphics prove me wrong. Now, this is someone who's played every single Life is Strange game, plus the DLCs, until Double Exposure. Point 1. Your targeted audience and power relevancy. I believe that Life is Strange is targeted at teenagers, and it's peak when you're a teenager. You're in that mindset where it makes sense to watch a coming-of-age story. It makes sense to play a coming-of-age game, which is what Life is Strange is, especially to me. You can still find some enjoyment in all the Life is Strange games. But Life is Strange 1, Max's story, Max Caulfield and Chloe Price's story, is about coming of age. It is about growing up. It's about accepting that there are certain things you can't change. That's why time travel was so relevant in that story. That's why her powers made sense, even though they didn't make sense. We never got an explanation for why she had powers. It's a good storytelling device. In this story, Max Caulfield just has powers. She doesn't go through any traumatic experience. She doesn't see anybody get shot, as per the first game. She just has them, which is odd because why can't Safi just have powers? Safi is like a new character. She's a new person. And this is from someone who hasn't played the game. This is from someone who has been watching many videos about said game, so I don't have to spend my own money. Thank you guys for spending your money and playing the game and putting it up there for me. I really appreciate it. Point 2. Max's memory loss. Max Caulfield learned her lesson in Life is Strange 1. She learned her lesson to not overuse her power for like stupid little things. She learned how to not use them at all, even though Chloe died, because that's like part of learning. Or if Chloe lived, then yes, but you stop after that. That's the point of the story. She stops because she realizes all the damage it's causing. Turn around to Double Exposure though. They're on a broken ice lake, right? She teleports that broken ice, because that's what she does, right? She teleports it to the alternate dimension. It might be daytime, people might be on the ice, and you just made it break beneath them. Like, you can't tell me that she learned her lesson in the first one and then turned right back around and be like, oh, she doesn't care. This is still messing with time. This is still messing with dimensions. And about alternate dimensions, we already talked about that in Life is Strange 1. There's an episode where we're in an alternate dimension with alternate Chloe, and we see all the damage that these alternate realities are causing. Because Chloe, in case you didn't know, spoiler alert for Life is Strange 1, Chloe is completely disabled from the neck down because of one little change. One little instance. They basically, Max Caulfield went back in time and saved her father. It didn't make Chloe's, in her time's, father come back, but it made a different Chloe have her father, get a car, get into an accident. But we dealt with that. We saw what alternate dimensions were like. We saw it. We were in it. It was crazy. It was amazing. Life is Strange 1 is so good, guys. Point 3. Gameplay. If you know Life is Strange, you know Life is Strange is for the story. You know it's not for the gameplay. It's for talking to the characters. It's for getting to know who you're playing. And it's for getting to know the world and the story. But with gameplay in mind, it shouldn't be aggravating for me to walk from point A to point B in a story game. It is aggravating as hell to watch people bring objects from alternate dimensions to your dimension so that you can, I don't know, have a step stool to put up a decoration in your dimension. What kind of gameplay is that? Point 4. Alternate dimension plot holes. We're all thinking it. Where the hell is alternate Max? It's kind of a big deal when you're an alternate time traveling god and you still don't know where your alternate version is at. Especially when we've been seeing characters from our timeline in these alternate universes. So it would make sense that Max would also have an alternate version. I've had people say, oh, well, when Max goes to one dimension, the other Max goes to the other because it's kind of like they have to, and that's what they're doing. That's not how alternate dimension shifting works. They're not doing the exact same thing at the exact same time. Yes, in some dimensions, yes, that could be possible, but that's not how it works in all of them, not whatsoever. Some of them might be doing something extremely different. Like, because that's how alternate timelines work. You might be a fucking pig in an alternate timeline. And on the note of Max would always be going to the other timeline because that's what other Max is doing. No, because remember that one guy? There's a scene where you can get where two people are the same, right? They're the same person, but they're from alternate universes. But then they're in the same universe and they touch and they disappear. Basically, every known record of them, every trace that they had ever existed in any universe is erased. I don't know if that means that they're like children and their spouses, and it's a can of worms. They don't explain it either. And you're telling me Max has not come into contact with hers. You're telling me both of them, knowing that they have the powers that they have, wouldn't try to maybe contact each other? I would try to contact my alternate dimension self, be like, dude, what's up? What is up? Who else is gonna relate to your crazy situations? Oh, how can you not? It's just like, it's such an integral part to the story. It's literally in the title, and we're not supposed to, like, talk about it. Point 5, a murder with no murderer. This game is sold as a murder mystery, and yet you never find out who murdered Safi. You think it's Max, because you teleport back in time, and Max is pointing the pistol at Safi, right? So you think it's Max. But no! Safi and Max were just taking a picture. That wasn't happening. So how did Safi die? How did Safi get killed? Everybody tells you that it was Max because Max felt that she had to, but we never see that. We never see that. How are we supposed to know when even Max doesn't remember, even Max doesn't know? That doesn't make sense. You can't be like, oh, she's time traveling, so her brain, she doesn't remember. What? What? Then she has plausible deniability for that murder, dude. How does that make any sense? And as a murder mystery fan, that is an extremely unsatisfying ending. That is like, oh my god. Like, how could you establish that this is going to be a mystery and then totally take that out when the end happens? Point 6, unlikable characters. I hate Safi's character, guys. I hate it. Apparently, I looked this up, apparently Max and Safi are best friends! Again, I didn't play the game, but she's also the main antagonist to the story, so, explain? And also, apparently she's a psychopath. But anyways, the main bad thing about her is that she's willing to kill her mother. She's willing to kill her mother because she believes that she is, and I quote, a god because of her powers. Even though Max has had powers and we all know she didn't get a god complex. On the other characters, I feel like there's only 2 really worth mentioning, and I can't find the third guy's name. There's Moses. Moses was so boring, it was almost, like, offensive. And then there's Amanda, and she was sweet. If you decide to be romantic with her, it's sweet. But if you don't, she seems very pushy because she really likes you. You know what I mean? It's almost like they didn't make a platonic version of her. And then there's the third guy, which is a guy love interest, but I can't find his name, and I remember him being a jerk, so it's not really worth mentioning him, because why would Max even like a guy like that? I was like 15 when I played Life is Strange for the first time. And it was the first one. It was with Max Caulfield, and it was amazing. It gave me a sense of friendship that it was hard for someone like me to find, a homeschooled kid. And that story was it was beautiful. It was complicated, and it wasn't perfect, but it was beautiful. And I feel like we've lost that sense of writing, like, everywhere. Now it's just about getting a message through, getting, like, what you want into the game, not about what's right for the characters, what makes sense for their development. And so we're getting these flat characters instead of complex ones. There's a difference between hating a character for their actions and just hating how a character was written because there's nothing there. I think I've made my point, but if I haven't, drop a comment. If you disagree with me, go right ahead, but I'm still not gonna buy the game.